Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome from sunny Lanzarote. Well, it's not sunny now because it's 10 o'clock at night on a Wednesday evening. It's time for our regular Zoom call for Wealth Warriors about the different platforms we've adopted. And in tonight's presentation, it's also going to be a little bit about some that are on the way out and looking at some possibilities for some that are on the way in. So a little bit different tonight, but hopefully interesting anyway. So those of you who aren't aware of Wealth Warriors, there's so much information for us to cover about our community and what we do, how we do it, why we do it, that what we've done is separate out the nuts and bolts, if you like, of who we are as a community, and that we do that on a Sunday evening at 10 o'clock UK time, and then Wednesday evening, 10 o'clock UK time, we go through each of the individual platforms and give you a little bit more information about that. And there'll be an opportunity for questions and answers at the end of the presentation. So thank you guys for being here. And those of you that are watching this by video, thank you for taking the time to watch it by video. Hopefully you'll get value for it. I like to keep these presentations to about an hour. So let's crack on. It may be I have to either skip a couple of slides, or it might be that I have to talk a little bit quicker, but we'll get it done in an hour. Yeah, okay, so welcome to Wealth Warriors. We are financial freedom fighters. It's the 3rd of December 2025, 10 p.m. UK time, also 10 p.m. Lanzarote time. And there you see Wealth Warriors delivering Bitcoin to everybody, and that's kind of what we're trying to do. That's the aim, if you like, that we all work together and we get wealthy together. We are financial freedom fighters because there's more to financial freedom than just making money. Yes, you need to have money if you want to be financially free, but you also need to know how to keep hold of it, how to keep it out of the clutches of other people. I'm not going to say any more than that, but there are plenty of people out there. There are plenty of policies and laws and regulations designed to take your money away from you. And you need to know how to fight the good fight, because if not, you'll lose. Most people don't even realize they're in a fight. So part of what we do is educate people along those lines. So we start off with a disclaimer. Nothing in this presentation is given as financial or investment advice. If you think I've given you financial or investment advice, I haven't. You've either misheard it or I misspoke, in which case I apologize, but I don't give advice. Wealth Warriors is not an investment platform, it's a community, but we do promote online platforms that meet our strict criteria. So don't get the two confused. If you do decide to invest in any of the platforms discussed in this presentation, only use money you can comfortably afford to lose and carry out your own due diligence. And I'll talk about strategizing a little bit later. I was going to sort of make a codicil to that, but I won't. It'll come out when we talk about strategy later. So if you're looking at something and thinking, well, this is so good, I should just, I should cash in my pension and put all my money into this and I'll get rich within, 3 months or something. Resist that urge, because that's kind of I hate to tell somebody they're greedy, but that is a greed mentality. And in this online space, we have been taught that that's the way to do things. Get greedy, get as much money together, put it in, and make as much money as quickly as you can, and get back out again before the whole thing goes pop. Okay, unfortunately, the world is full of people that have a story where they tried to do that. They thought that that's the thing to do. They were told that's the thing to do. And it turns out that they lost all their money. They lost their pension fund. They lost their house. Maybe they lost their husband or wife along the way. And so we don't do that. There's no need to do that. It's a crazy, crazy situation. So don't put more money into any platform or any business, any investment, online, offline, doesn't matter. Don't put more money into something that you can afford to lose. If it's going to cause you financial hardships, bankruptcy, or can't pay your mortgage or anything like that, it's too much money. The presenter does not hold himself out to be an employee or an agent of any of the companies mentioned herein. in as much as I'm exactly the same as you guys. So if I'm part of an advocate program, I'm an advocate the same as you are. If it's an agent's program, then I'm an agent the same as you are. Okay, I don't work for the companies. So as you know, we have criteria for adopting a platform. One criteria is that it must be available in the whole world. So one criterion. It must be available in the whole world, not excluded in the US, for example, or Australia or France. Um, it must have a unilevel compensation plan, and people must be able to join for free or get involved in a passive income program for a very low entry cost, i.e., $100. So if we can do 1, 2, and 3, it means that we can maintain lines of sponsorship across all platforms. So the people you introduce to platform 1 will be the same people you introduce to platform 2, will be the same people you introduce to platform 3. That's what we're trying to do. Also, it must be based on real world applications, not just a money game or a shell game. If there's a company involved, we want to be able to check out the company, and the compensation plan must be viable and sustainable. Everybody in the team must be able to get behind the project, so we avoid things that are even if they're not illegal or unethical. Gambling, for example, is a little bit shady. Some people have moral issues or moral reservations about getting involved in anything to do with gambling. So if that's the case, then we just steer clear of anything like that. The plan was to drink my coffee before I got started, but I forgot. Okay, so these are the 5 platforms that we're going to talk about tonight. Um, there's a couple more hanging around that I'll cover in a different format, if you like, a different way that I'm talking about these platforms. So the first one is Matrix Freedom, and I apologize again, I keep threatening to do this. Matrix Freedom has rebranded itself. It's now the Republic of Old Souls. And I thought I'd updated this presentation, but it looks like I haven't. Maybe I saved it as the wrong thing. I don't know. So basically, we don't have these two distinct strands anymore. We have different protocols. We have 6 different protocols. So I'm going to skip through some of this and just pick up the bits that are still relevant. So we have 2 main areas. One is the financial aspects of the system, how to get money out of the system, and the second part is to become lawfully free from the matrix, if you like, the control matrix that we all live in. We're hemmed in on all sides by rules and regulations and statutes and policies. Okay, and it's all designed for one thing, and that's to keep you working working in a job and being a consumer. And even if you own your own business, you'll probably find it's the same as having a job, except you just own your job. Very, very few businesses actually get to the point where the people running the business are financially free. So we're good voters and good consumers, and that's really all the whole system is set up for us to do that. So whatever you want to do with Republic of Old Souls stroke Matrix Freedom, first thing to do is to sign up as a member. It's free. When you're signed up, you can then start looking at videos and look at the different protocols, the different services that are available. This is a pay up front system. So if you decide you want to do something, for example, you want to recoup all the money that left your bank account last year, then you have to pay for that. The price will be about £1,000. Sometimes they do special offers, but let's suppose that's £1,000. So you pay that, and then you go through the process. They don't do it for you. They show you how to do it, because if they do it for you, that's a completely different service, and they need to be licensed and insured and regulated and so on. And they want to avoid that. It's a private members association, so we have to do the work ourselves. So they will educate us. We need to be, we need to take on board that education. That's what the whole thing is about. You watch all the videos, you read the ebooks, you fill in the forms, pay your money, and recoup your payments that left your bank account last year, or your mortgages, for example. You might want to recoup a mortgage or two. And then you can become an advocate or an advocate organizer. And an advocate is somebody who introduces other members. So you sign up for free as a member. When you pay for one of the services, you become a paid member. Then they both have the same login. Then if you decide you want to introduce people and earn a small commission for that, then you become an advocate. And then and that has a different login, a different part of the platform. And then if you are an advocate, you want to introduce other advocates, then you become an advocate organizer. And again, you earn commissions down a few levels from that. So things that you can do, forget the fact that it says roadmap to freedom. This is now the infinite money or part of the infinite money protocol. So you can recoup your checking current or current account, we call it current account in the UK, for 2022, 2023, and 2024. Now you kind of run out of time now. If you haven't got 2022 in the can by now, you're too late. But you can still do 2023 and 2024. You could do either of those up until about July, August time next year. But also starting in January, you'll be able to recoup 2025. And the following year in January, you start the process of recouping 2026. So that's why it's an infinite money protocol. Every year you can claim back this money. So you claim back, sorry, apologies. You don't claim it back. You recoup the money. So you recoup the money. It goes into your bank account. You spend it from the bank account. The following year, you recoup it from the bank account again. So you've got this constant loop of recouping the money from your bank account, put it into your bank account and spend it so that you can recoup it again. So these are the costs at the moment: £1,000 per personal account, £2,000 per business account. But bear in mind it's in pounds, not in dollars. And very often they have special offers on that. You can also discharge mortgages if you have existing mortgages and loans and debts and taxes to pay and things like that. Then you can engage with them, pay them some money, and they will show you how to discharge all of those different debts. You can also recoup previous mortgages. If you had a mortgage 20 years ago that you paid off, or you sold that property and you moved on, then you can recoup that mortgage as well. You can create new currency to acquire a property or a car or a yacht or a helicopter, whatever you like. And you can control and shelter your assets in a private trust. And I would strongly recommend you do that. A private trust means that it's basically shielded from all outside influence. All the wealthy people in the world protect their assets in a private trust. So you can bet your bottom dollar that that's the safest way to do it, and nothing's going to happen to that. You know, the Rothschilds, for example, and the Vanderbilts and the Rockefellers wouldn't allow anything to happen to their ability to shelter their assets. It just wouldn't happen. So we watch what they do, and we do the same thing. And you can live an abundant life by creating new currency as you need to. You might say, next year I need $250,000 to live, or I need $1 million to live my lifestyle. So I'm going to create $1 million of currency. And then, so you do that, you receive that money, put it in your bank. And then when it gets spent from the bank, you recoup your money from the bank. But also next year, you might say, oh, I need another $1 million to live the following year. So you create that currency as well. So you begin to see how these different protocols multiply out the funds that you have available, your ability to live an abundant life. One of the things you can do is to correct your status and standing, which means I'm not going to go into straw men but this is tied quite closely to the freedom movement, where this is attacking the control matrix directly, the thing that controls us, keeps us in place. And so what you're saying is, I no longer want to play that game. Let's work on filing this paperwork so that I can get out from there and do something else. I can be my own person. I can be my own citizen. And it doesn't happen by accident. It's not an easy thing to do, but it's definitely worthwhile doing it. You can set up private trusts to operate for you without being enjoined to the control matrix. You can transfer the allodial total of all your assets into private trusts. So if you own a car right now, you don't really own it. because it's registered to the government. If they want to come and tow your car away, they have the right to do that. If they want to take it away and crush it, they can do that. Your house isn't really your house, even though you paid off the mortgage, because it's registered to the government. So the government actually owns it. They have the allodial title. And so what we need to do then is create this private trust, get the allodial title of all of these assets and put it into the private trust. Now, you still don't own them, the private trust owns them, but you would be in a position to control the private trust. An example of how this works for you is that if you take your house and put it into your private trust, so you don't own it, the private trust owns it, and when you pass on, you want that property then to be used by your children, it doesn't actually get transferred to the children. The trust just gives them the right to use the property the way the trust gave you the right to use the property. So there's no inheritance tax because the property hasn't changed hands. It's still owned by the private trust. Okay, so that's kind of the way private trusts will work for you. And you can assure your protection and your sovereignty going forward because we will all work together as a nation, effectively. You can obtain a passport, a driving license, etc., as an ambassador. And an interesting thing is that you can also have your own passport for the country you're living in now. So you can have the best of both worlds. So that's it. You've got the best part of whatever you want to use for being a citizen of your own country, but you also have this freedom as an ambassador for the Old Souls Nation, yeah. So this is my bank recruitment for 2022. My 2023 one is up to date now. So the last thing to happen is funds to be received, and this is based on the IRS in America. They've really said up here, credit on transcript, the 21st of August there, they've said, yes, the money is available for you. We agree. It's written on our list of people we owe money to. And then the people from Matrix Freedom sent some paperwork in saying, hand it over then. And so all we're waiting for now is for the money to be sent to my trustee. And my 2023 account is in exactly the same position. I know there's some people on the call now in the same position. So this is what we should have been looking at, is that we have all these different protocols. So this is what we were looking at before, and this is the correct terminology now. So instead of bank payment recoupment, we should have been talking about infinite money protocol. I kind of explained that. Mortgage liberation protocol, discharging the mortgages. The ROS, Republic of Old Souls, is now the envoy protocol. So be a citizen in your own right, be an ambassador, have your own passport and driving license and so on. Mortgage redemption protocol is mortgages you've had in the past that you now want to recoup the value of that mortgage. Private trusts now is called Asset Fortress Protocol. I think that is a tremendous title, Asset Fortress. So it just says everything you need to say. And then currency creation is now Currency Creation Protocol, so not much of a change there. So that's Matrix Freedom. And what I recommend you do is get the link from the person who introduced you or invited you and go to their site and register as a member. Start looking through all the information, start looking at the ebooks, start reading the start watching the seminar recordings, webinar recordings, and what will happen is that they will start receiving emails from them inviting you to come on webinars. They do several different webinars every week, so you haven't got to go to all of them, but start learning about this stuff, because the sooner you learn, the sooner you can become free, the sooner you get your money recouped and your currency created and all the other things you want to do. So don't be in a tearing hurry, but don't delay unnecessarily either. So that's Matrix Freedom. So BitHarvest, I'm not really going to talk about BitHarvest because we're going to come on to that in the questions and answers session, which may be part of this recording or may not. But we're at a point in history now where BitHarvest has they're playing silly games, really. I'm not sure that it's not what they intended all along. but we're in a position where they've bought back all of our boosters. So we've stopped earning from those boosters because we don't own them anymore. And instead, they bought them back at something like 2 times or 2.5 times the value that we paid for them. But the challenging thing is they paid us in BTH, which is basically it's their own coin, and at the moment it's got a value of not very much. So my 61,000 that I'm owed back is worth about, I think, is 913 billion BTH. So I always wanted to be a billionaire, but I did actually want it to be worth something when I got there. So that's all we know. There's a promise that we'll be able to withdraw 10% of those funds every month for the next, sorry, 10% of the funds will be deposited into our account. So I'm not sure how it works out as 10% because it's going to be for the next 730 days. So there's going to be a proportion every month paid to us that we can withdraw. We don't know how that withdrawal is going to work because at the moment, if we try to withdraw BTH, nobody's buying BTH. So you couldn't get the value out anyway. And certainly if people started flooding the marketplace with billions of BTH to try and get the money out, it wouldn't work. No, the coin would just crash. So it'll be interesting to find out what happens, but we probably won't know anything about that for a month or so. That's as much as I'm going to say on BitHarvest. Let's look at BitNex. BitNex used to be called Cryptex. There were a lot of other companies around called Cryptex. It got very confusing. Some of them had bad reputations. So these people said, okay, we've fed up with this. We're going to call ourselves BitNex. So if you have heard of Cryptex, that's what this is. It's a crypto investment company and headquarters, okay, it's been around since 2018. And a lot of people have made a lot of money with BitNex. There's videos available to us all over the place for it. So how does it work? Well, you set up a contract using a small fee. If you set up one contract, it costs you $100. Now, it's not an investment. Once you've spent that $100, that $100 is gone. Okay, but what you're left with is a contract that's going to generate money for you. I'll come on to the $1,000 in a minute. The contract loans money from a bank, and there are 4 different time frames. You can take out a contract for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, or 7 years. If you get a 2-year or 3-year contract, the loan is 30,240. So that money is allocated to your account, to your smart contract by a bank. If you take out the 5-year or 7-year contract, then they're happy to lend you 43,200, which means that you have more money working for you every single day. And the setup fee also insures the loan through an insurance company. So again, the 2-year and 3-year contracts, the insurance premium is $210, and for the $43,200 loan, it's more because they're insuring more money, and it's $300 per month. So all of that money has to be generated, has to be earned from your contract doing the work for you. So your contract makes profits every single day, and at the end of the month, they pay the insurance premiums, and at the end of the year, they pay the bank interest, and then at the end of the contract repays the loan. So you put some money in, it borrows some money. That money is what works for you. That's why this is so lucrative, because it's not your $100 working for you every day. It's $30,000 working for you, or $43,000 working for you. So after everything's paid, the contract is finished, everybody's had their money back, whatever's left is yours. So let's have a look at what that might be. A 24-month contract for $100, the payout will be around 21,000. Okay, it probably won't be less than the figure I put there. Probably be a little bit more, but it varies because the daily earnings vary a little. If you then buy a special offer of 15 contracts for $1,000, okay, you get 15 times that payout. So it's for $1,000 in, you get $323,000 back. I say to people 320,000 is probably going to be a little bit more than that, but I'd rather say that than, I say 325 and they say, oh, I've lost $1,000. Well, okay, and the same with the DeFi Hybrid 36 is $100 in, and at the end of 3 years, then you get $35,000. And if you buy a pack of 15 of those contracts for $1,000, then you get over $500,000 back at the end of the 3 years. The 5-year contract, you can only buy an individual contract, and you get back 470,000, and the DeFi Hybrid 84, 7 months, 7 years, sorry, 84 months, 7 years, 84 months, 7 years, that's right. You get almost 1.5 million back. Okay, and the reason you get such great results is because it's not your $100 doing the work, it's the bank's 43,000 or 30,000 doing the work for you. So a little bit about my journey. My first contract after 29 months, I started with $100 29 months ago, and now it's worth 21,188 as of a couple of hours ago. And it's earning $37 a day, which is a little disappointing because sometimes it's been earning $50, sometimes $45 a day. Today it earned $37. So this is how much the loan was, and then this is how much the profit is. And so between the two of them, then I've now got $51,000 earning for me every single day. That's why I can make $37 a day when I only put $100 in. Okay, now on this page, you can see everything you need to know about this contract, the monthly insurance premiums, the handling fee, the loan interest per year, how much loan was taken out, when it was started, when it's going to finish, the last profit I made, and the total profit I've made. So everything, and then this is interesting, it says here, all fees are automatically debited from your locked profits. Okay, so you don't have to do anything. You can just put $100 in, walk away, come back in 2 years' time and take your money. I look at this every few days. I don't look at it every day, but I look at it every few days. But there's no need to. There's nothing for me to do with this contract. It really is a set it and forget it type setup. So this is for my whole account now. After 1 year, I got a little bit more confident with it because initially I was thinking I don't trust it. It sounds a bit strange. I'm not going to put a lot of money in. So I put $100 in. Then during that year, I started to meet people who had made some money from this. They posted videos and things like that. And I thought, well, okay, I'm going to actually do a bit more now. So I started to add $100 packages, and now I've got 39 contracts. So I've basically got 3,900 tied up. I don't know why I said 2,900. It's 3,900 tied up. Some of that's my money. Some of it is profits I made from introducing other people to the platform. So the last profit I made for all of my contracts was $1,018. So today I made $1,000 in profit on my 39 contracts, which isn't bad considering I started with $100. Last week, Monday to Friday last week, I made $6,900 in that whole week. And last month, where are we now? We're in December. So in November, I made $29,490. That's all been added to my total. I can't touch that until I'll get my hands on some of that in July next year. But where else can you earn $29,000 a month for $100 in? So my total stake balance, so the amount of money that's earning for me is $1.3 million. That's why I can make $1,000 a day. You've only got to make 0.01%, and you're making $1,000 a day. So there's a profit for the picture of my recent profits. So I'm not going to go into strategies, but I keep these slides here just in case we want to refer back to them. So I'm not going to go into strategies, but just to give you an example or a thought here, you can set it up if you want to. You can do a small one-off investment, or you can do a large one-off investment, or you can do a small ongoing income or medium-sized ongoing income. It's entirely up to you. Whatever you want to do, whatever outcome you want, we can come up with a strategy. This one is a lifetime ongoing income. So in that situation, you could be earning 1.8 million per year after what's that, 6 years? After 6 years, you're earning 1.8 million per year. You can give money to charity, and the reason I like these slides is because in this slide, I bless 352 people. I give them a $100 contract each. So initially I got that money because I put $100 in, and in 3 years' time I've got 35,000. So then I blessed 352 people. And I can't even give it all away because I get some commissions for those people buying contracts. After 3 years, these people all receive 35,000, so they can do with their friends what I've done with them. But I also receive a commission at the end of the contract. At the end of their contract, I receive a commission of almost $1 million. So I started off with $100, tried to give it all away, got 10,000 in commissions back at the beginning of the contracts and $1 million back at the end of the contract. So you can't even give your money away. And then this is similar, except I said I don't know 352 people, but I do know 35 people. So instead of $100, I'll give them all $1,000. And then I still received all this commission back. Those 35 people all received $500,000 after 3 years. And I still received 1.4 million at the end of the 3 years, at the end of their contracts. So you can't even give all the money away. The fastest way of growing this is to invest in $100. Will give you 21,000 in 2 years' time. Then after 2 years, you buy 5 of those extra packs of contracts and spend the other 16,000. You can't even spend all your money. There's a limit of 80 contracts. And after 2 years, you'll receive 1.6 million. And so you buy another 5 hybrid 36 packs and enjoy the rest of the 1.6 million. And after 3 years, then you'll be receiving 2.6 million per year. Sorry, 2.63 million every 3 years, which is 877,000 per year. So that's the fastest way of building up your BitNex income. When you register, you will have you'll have access to this page, or if you get somebody else's link, the link is probably taking you to a platform or a landing page where you can look at this video. It's a friend of ours. Most of us on the in our community know Mario, and this is when he withdrew $400,000 a little while ago, just to prove it works, I guess. And that's the link. If you make a note of that, then basically just swap out where it says your wallet ID, just swap it out for your wallet ID, and that will be your landing page. We'll talk about that a bit more in a minute. So Veralio is an AI trading system. You know that we've had teething problems with Veralio. The owner keeps promising that it's going to be up and running very soon. I know that their intention is to not upload it until they're very, very confident that it's producing the results, because they've had sort of 2 failed attempts. Maybe not failed attempts, 2 attempts that didn't perform as we had all hoped. So the platform's still not up and running at the moment, but it's a great system. So I'll tell you a little bit about it. The trading system itself, Veralio, was developed about, I think it was about 6 or 7 years ago, by some people I know. I've known one of them since 1988. I've known the other one since about 1995. And great guys, very clever. They know exactly what they're doing. So they had this trading system, but the trading system needed so much data. It needed somebody to analyze so much data that they couldn't do it. A human being can't monitor that much data. The most you can do is sort of pick a few of your favorite indicators or a few of your favorite trends or whatever and jump on those once in a while. But AI can handle that much data, that much information. And so they built AI, Octavia AI, and connected it up to the trading system, Veralio. So Octavia monitors the market to identify trading opportunities. And then when it identifies that, it sends a signal through to Veralio saying, send out signals to all of these exchanges, all of our customers, to place a trade. For example, Bitcoin's going up in price, so everybody's exchange will buy Bitcoin. And then once the trend is coming to an end, then Octavia says, okay, get rid of the Bitcoin, put it back into a stable coin, USDT, USD, USDC, something like that. Okay. Whatever base currency it is, different exchanges have different base currencies. If there were profits from that trade, then you have a Veralio account and money is taken from your Veralio account to pay for that profitable trade. Typically 10%. So if you made $100, it would cost you $10. And if you know anything about copy trading, that's brilliant. Most copy traders charge 40%, some 50%. As well as making trading profit, you'll also receive 7.5% of the profit made by the people that you've introduced. So if somebody you've introduced makes $100 profit, then you earn $7.50. And then if the people they've introduced made $100, you receive $2.50 from all of those people. And of course, on level 2, there should be a lot more people than there is on your level 1. So the system offers security because the funds are in your exchange account at all times. They're well-known exchanges, or not just sort of their own exchange, if you like, so like some places use. This is Binance, Kraken, Coinbase, that sort of thing. Okay, so totally independent exchanges, and we're going to have about 10 or 15 for you to choose from. At the moment, we've only got 2, but it's the plan is when we it's on the back burner at the moment because we've got to get the thing working first. But when it's up and running, you will have a choice of a number of different exchanges, so you just choose your own favorite. The system offers complete transparency because in your back office, you'll be able to see every single trade that was taken, but it will also show up in your exchange account, your Kraken account or your Binance account. So it's completely transparent. And then if you want to, let's suppose you were to say, well, I've got an emergency, I need to stop the trading and take all my money, then you just pause the trading or switch off, delete the trading bot completely, take your money, go and do what you have to do. When you're ready to come back, refund your trading account and switch the bots back on again. So you have complete control. Now we can get you started with a $100 trading fund and a $100 Veralio account. If you were to join Veralio through any other system, you'd need a $5,000 trading fund. We have an arrangement with the company. Like I say, I've known the guys a long time. However, what we have agreed is that whatever level we get started at, we'll try to avoid withdrawing from our trading fund until our account has grown to $5,000. Okay, the reason they're doing this is because they want to make money. They're not in it for the fun of it. They want to make money. And if everybody in their team has only got $100 account, they're not going to make very much money. And so they've said everybody should start with 5,000, and we've said that we'll not withdraw until we get to a $5,000 level. So that's Veralio. The last one that in the sort of general lineup is eEstate. It's a platform to allow us to get involved in real estate without any of the problems associated with real estate, and we can do it on a geographical, so we can do it on a global basis. We're not restricted just to the area where we live. I used to be in real estate, I suppose, to a certain extent. I still am. I still have some properties in my portfolio that I'm trying to get rid of. And real estate was a lot of fun back in the early 2000s. It's not fun anymore. And so all of the problems that beset the real estate industry are taken away simply by following this model. I can buy a property on the other side of the planet before breakfast in my pajamas, drinking a cup of coffee. I don't have to get on a plane and fly there and do all the calculations and do all the negotiations and then worry about how I'm going to tenant it, how we're going to market it, and so on and so forth. None of that. It's just very, very simple. It's to do with fractional ownership of real estate, and what that involves is tokenizing a property. So the company gets hold of a property, tokenizes it, and then you can buy as many or as few of those tokens as you want. Each token is worth about $10. So not about $10. Each token is worth $10, and so if there's a $10 million mansion in Florida, which there is, or in California, sorry, which there is, then you want to buy $1,000 of that, that's fine. You just buy $1,000 worth. You don't have to buy the $10 million. Okay. So you get the benefit of all of the growth in the value of that property without all the hassle of well, any of the hassle. I'm not going to list all the different things that will cause you hassle because it'll become a very boring video. Okay, through the eEstate website, buyers can purchase as many of those tokens they want up to the maximum available for that property. You can get involved as a seller, a buyer, or an agent, but not many of us are going to be sellers because the company has their own process for acquiring properties. If you do have a property that you think would be suitable, by all means, talk to them about it. But don't be disappointed if they were to say, "Sorry, we're looking for this type of property, not yours." Buyers, however, earn passively from their real estate investments. So when you first join, it costs nothing to join and become a buyer, and you can buy property starting from $10. And once you've purchased a property, you earn every single day, 5 days a week. However, what I recommend you do is if you're thinking of buying property, don't just become a buyer, sign up as an agent. Now, when you become an agent, you can then introduce other people and you can but you have to pay a commission. It's sorry, not commission, a subscription. It's $9 a month or $90 for the year. But the beauty is that if you become an agent and then as a buyer buy a property, you receive the commissions for that purchase rather than the commissions going to the person who introduced you. So if you're going to do that, I'd suggest you become an agent first. You haven't got to, but I recommend it. A buyer can become an agent. I said that's recommended. An agent pays a subscription fee, and then once you are an agent, you get a referral link to build your team of buyers and agents. And that referral link takes people to a landing page that explains ever such a lot about eEstate. And then when people click on the button to register, they register as part of your team. The transactions, the property purchase transactions, are written as smart contracts on the Binance Smart Chain. Each contract is fully visible on the blockchain. And when you're going through the process to buy a property, so you decide which property you want, how much of it you want, on and on and on, where you're going to pay the money from. You can either deposit the money directly or use it from your e-wallet. And then one of the steps is sign the contract. You push a button, it comes up on the screen, you sign it with your finger, and it's a legally compliant contract. It shows that you own part of that property. The fraction purchased by the buyer is backed by real estate. So it's not like some businesses where you're not sure what's backing the tokens or what's backing the offering. This is real estate. The token EST is pegged to physical real estate value, providing buyers with a secure, tangible asset base. And people have asked me, why don't they sell it in Bitcoin or sell it in Ethereum or whatever? And the reason is because those coins, nobody has any control over them. They go up and down in value. So imagine you're going to buy a share of a house. I'm going to buy a share of a house, and my share costs me I don't know, $1,000. By the time you get to buy it, because the price was in Bitcoin, it's not $1,000 anymore. Exactly the same deal that I got is going to cost you $1,100. Okay, so that's because nobody has control over Bitcoin. So the token EST, the value of that property is pegged to the real value of that real estate, and the tokens allocated accordingly. So that's why we use an EST token, not any other recognized currency. You can also hold your EST to buy more property, or you can convert it to any one of 50 cryptocurrencies and you can withdraw instantly. So if you make $1,000 in profit, bang, you can get that. I think it took, the last time I withdrew some money, it took about 10 minutes or so to get to my wallet. When you want to deposit, you can deposit in up to 50 different cryptocurrencies and you send it to your e-wallet if you want to, or during the process, when you're coming to pay for the property, if you haven't got money in your e-wallet, you just select which coin you're going to deposit and it'll tell you how much to send and where to send it. So you have flexibility there. You also earn ETK. And ETK is good fun. It gives you a little bit of a buzz when you achieve something and they give you a little bit of recognition, a little bit of a reward, and you can spin the money wheel. Now, I don't do this myself. I have my wife do this. She loves it. And she earns, quite a bit of money from it. Considering that the ETK are given to me for free, she makes, $30, $40 a month from the money wheel. So that's good. I was making like 50 cents, and I don't know how she does it. So you even get ETK just for logging into the platform every day. So you get 31 ETK every 10 days, which means just every month, just over a month, you get one free spin on the money wheel, and you can earn up to $1,000. You can win up to $1,000 from the money wheel. So it's not to be sniffed at. So the benefits: you can earn great profit during the active phase, first 18 months. Within 6 or 7 months, you'll recoup your outlay, and then the next, let's suppose it's 6 months, and the next 12 months, you'll double whatever investment you made, you'll get back double. So let's suppose it's a 6-month return on investment. You put $1,000 in. Within 18 months, you've got $3,000 back out. You got your 1,000 originally, and then you got two more thousands. And then what happens is after the 18 months, that property goes into what they call the passive phase, which is they'll give you 10%, whatever your investment was, you'll get 10% per year for the rest of the life of that property for doing nothing. So one of my strategies is put in $1,000, and when I get my next $1,000 back, well, the first one I get back, I take out and put safe. But then the next one, I buy another property with $1,000. And then so now I've got two, making $1,000 instead of every 6 months now, it's going to be every 3 months. So now I buy another one. Now I've got three, so I make $1,000 in 2 months. And then I've got four. And I don't know how to work it out now. It's something like 45, every 45 days I get $1,000 to buy another property. And if I just keep doing that now, what's going to happen is the first one is going to hit the 18 months, hit this passive phase. But by then I've got 7 or 8 properties all earning me $1,000 every 20 days or something. Okay, so you can start small and you can build up big very, very quickly. That's just my strategy. Of course, you do whatever you like, but that's not a bad thing to do either. Now, larger properties cost more to buy into, but they attract a larger daily return and a faster return on investment. So the smallest property you can get is a 9-month return on investment, but that's a $10 investment. The largest investment is $255,000, and your ROI on that is 5 months. So within the 18-month period, you would get back over 790 something $1,000 for a $255,000 input. And then after that, it goes into a long period where it gives you back $25,000 per year as a 10% investment. And you can either receive your daily profits to your wallet for withdrawal or for reinvesting, or you can auto compound. And what auto compounding means is that you earn more and more of that property. So you start off, for example, with a house, you buy $1,000 worth of a house, and you auto compound. So the next day you've got $1,002, and the next day you've got $1,004.50, and the next day you've got $1,008. Okay, so you're buying more. Your profits are buying more and more and more of that property. Whereas if you don't auto compound, then the money goes into your e-wallet, and you can do what you want with that. spend it, reinvest it. You can even send it to people in your team if you want to, internally in the back office. So there are no fees involved with it. Sorry, there's no blockchain fees associated. I think there is a small charge, 0.5% or something. Okay. So the agent, you earn commissions not only from your own purchases, but the purchases of your buyers and your agents, the people you've introduced. You can also become a licensed real estate agent by signing the agreement electronically to finalize your license. You have to pass pass a simple test really to qualify for that. You need to have a certain amount of knowledge. You have a customizable landing page as soon as you register. You receive deals commissions, profit commissions, agent bonuses, and e-token rewards as an agent. So you get commission percentages on deals with your clients down 8 levels. Profit commissions, they're down 5 levels, but they're a share of the profits from the deals. Agent bonuses, 10 levels of bonuses based on the volume you have in your team. And you can receive a revenue sharing bonus from levels 3 to 8. In fact, I was talking to the CEO the other day, and he was telling me that when you get to level 4, you can even start earning a salary from this, which he hasn't explained all the details to me. So I will be finding that out, and I'll be letting you know in the future. When I know something, I'll share it with you. And then the money wheel. You can win nothing all the way up to $1,000. Okay. When all the tokens allocated to a property is sold out, the property is completely sold. And we've seen that this last week. 2 properties are now off the market. They're replacing them. They've replaced one of the properties with a lakeside house, I believe. And they're about to launch another one. So it's a constant turnover. It's going to get to the point in the future where they're going to release a property and it's going to be sold out within a day or two. So this is accelerating. There's the idea of tokenized real estate is really taking the world by storm. It's been available for about 10 years, but nobody had a really simple system to allow all of us to access it. Well, now we do, and it's a great idea. It's a great idea whose time has come. And that's kind of unstoppable. There are also special offers available, and there's a great opportunity to deposit some money, purchase a property, get your investment back within 7 months, continue earning at that level for another 11 months, and then receiving 10% of your initial investment per year for the rest of your life. And so if our ultimate goal is those 10%, you see how fairly quickly you can build a whole big portfolio of those 10%, just producing an income for you on into the future. Yes, you're always going to have properties making money in the first 18 months, but that's kind of your business building money, if you like. But the 10%, you don't need that for anything else except enjoying and spending. And this fits the criteria of wealth warriors because you can get in for a very low amount and build up your asset base over a long period of time. Properties are safe as houses. That was meant to be funny. I know you're laughing, really. I just can't hear you because you're muted. So that's the 5 different platforms. So there are other good businesses available besides those adopted by wealth warriors. One such business is Uchain. John, I'm not sure if John, I can't see the videos. I don't know if John's on the call, but John is our resident Uchain guru. So if you're invited here by John about Uchain, then that's you need to catch up with him. Basically, Uchain operates a trading bot, and you buy a trading bot, and it returns a multiple of your investment before it needs to be renewed. And it depends which bot you buy, what the multiple is. But let's suppose you buy a $1,100 bot, and it's got a 3 times return. So you'll get back 3,300. Then that bot's all gone. You need to buy another bot. Okay, and it worked out well for you last time, so you'll probably do that. And the bots come in different sizes as well. For as little as $110, the 1100 bot is a realistic entry point, but you can buy larger bots, different sizes all the way up to $11,000. So a good system. It's just not suitable for wealth warriors, but I'm quite happy to promote it because, if you guys all go there and make money, then happy days. Okay, it doesn't have to be part of it. Not everything has to be part of wealth warriors. So Kinesis Money is a system that we're adopting. And in fact, I was talking to somebody today about another banking system that has some other things that Kinesis Money doesn't have. So we may actually end up with two different banking systems, which would be interesting. So we need somewhere where we can access our money when we are no longer part of the matrix. The systems the banking systems are set up for people who play by the rules. If we want to play by our own rules, then we need to do something different. Kinesis Money is one of the programs that will meet our current and future needs. It can belong to you as an individual, or you can set up a business account within Kinesis Money, or you can set up a private trust account, which is what I like about it. Kinesis has a worldwide footprint, so you can access your money anywhere. And if you think about this, let's suppose you were, I wouldn't wish this on you at all, but it has happened where people have been persecuted by their government, wrongly accused of things, and they want to flee the country. Let's suppose all your money's in gold, in your basement where you live. How do you get that gold? You want to now flee to, I don't know, Malaysia. How do you get that gold from your house to where you need it in Malaysia? You can't, even if you had a load of cash. How do you move millions of dollars of cash? You don't. Even if it's in your bank account, okay, when the government persecutes you, they'll say, okay, we're going to freeze all his assets, all her assets. So how do you get your money out of your bank after the assets have been frozen? The answer is you can't. So Kinesis Money will actually allow you to have access to your money anywhere in the world. And you can withdraw in pretty much any fiat currency, any cryptocurrency, or gold and silver. And similarly, you can make deposits and withdrawals in any fiat currency, any cryptocurrency, and several different precious metals. If you help people get involved with Kinesis Money, when they pay fees, then you receive a commission based on those transaction fees. So don't get me wrong, people will pay those fees anyway. The fact that you get a commission is gravy for you. But you get paid in gold and silver. That's kind of interesting. I've never been paid in gold and silver. I've been paid in lots of weird things, but never gold and silver. You can also move the value of your fiat money, cryptocurrency, and precious metals onto your Kinesis MasterCard by spending on the high street in minutes. Literally, the price of gold goes up now. You think, I tell you what, I'm going to go and have a meal because gold has gone up. I've made $1,000 today because the price of gold went up. And you go and spend it on your MasterCard, and your gold reserves gets depleted as a result of that spend. Okay, and you could say, Bitcoin's gone up in price. I'm going to, instead of gold now, I'm going to spend Bitcoin. Tick a box, okay? And now you're spending Bitcoin. Very, very clever system. You'll love it. When you get to see it all, you'll love it. When you spend on your MasterCard, you also get cash back in gold and silver. And they've just passed I think they're audited, the silver has just been audited, where are we now, Wednesday? So I think it was the end of last week. The silver holdings were independently audited. Okay, so something I know some of you have been waiting to hear about is this new platform. And I apologize, guys. We're just about an hour now. And I've still got another 15 minutes or so to go. I do want to get this bit done because I know a lot of you have been waiting to find out something about this. So a little bit of background, harking back to what I said about BitHarvest, and everybody's concerned about how they're going to get their money back from BitHarvest. You may or may not be able to do that. Who knows? But what we've decided to do, and when I say we, I mean collectively as a team, our upline, our BitHarvest upline, have put together something that's going to ensure that we all, I've got to be careful the words I say, that we can all earn enough money from this new opportunity that it undoes what BitHarvest did. So if we lost $1,000 in BitHarvest, okay, we're going to make more than $1,000 in this new platform. As whatever you lost, you will be more than compensated, but it's not direct compensation. It's not from BitHarvest. It's because you're a part of the team that we put together in BitHarvest that collectively, as an upline, we're saying um, we want to look after the teams. The teams did nothing wrong, so we want to look after everybody and make sure they have access to something that's going to make them whole. So I want to stress the fact there's nothing to do with BitHarvest. It doesn't recover your BitHarvest losses, but it does compensate you. And that's only available to you. It's not available to the whole of BitHarvest. It's only available to our teams. Again, it's being organized by your upline, not a company. As far as possible, you will have an account funded for you based on your rank from BitHarvest. So if you're 1 star, we will give you $100 to get this new business started. If you're a 2 star, you get $200, 3 star, $300, 4 star, $400, and so on. Okay, if you want to, you haven't got to accept this. There are conditions. So we're taking the free funding. What you're saying is, yes, I am part of the team. I'm going to take that funding you've given me and I'm going to grow my new platform. Okay, so if you take $100, then what you're committing to is by the end of December, you will have $1,000 worth of business, if you like, $1,000 worth of volume in your business. Now that may be easy for you to do. I would have thought if you were a 6 star and you were getting, I don't know how much a 6 star is going to get, but then within a month you've got to get $50,000 or $100,000 worth of business. That's going to be a bit of a challenge. But I think if you take $100 or $200, you've got to get a volume, $1,000, $2,000 worth of volume. I don't think that's going to be overly difficult to do. However, you do need to commit to reporting progress weekly. There'll be a little thing a little format that every week you send it in and you say, I've introduced this many people, they've deposited this much money, whatever the criteria are, just so that we can monitor progress, make sure that you're using that money wisely. Of course, you don't have to have the free money. You can put your own money in if you want to, but then you haven't got the protection of using free money. Within the new platform, then you can compound the earnings or you can withdraw daily profits, which is an interesting concept. Examples of passive income is if you were to put $100 in and do nothing else with it and not introduce anybody, after 365 days, that $100 will be worth $15,000. Now, I've not seen these figures from the company as kind of second-hand information. I'm just telling you what I was told, but I will be checking this out fully and making sure that it's all legitimate, above board, and so on. No, I won't say that. I'll come on to that in a minute if I remember. So these are the returns you can expect for $500. If you put $500 in, you should get $75,000 within 360 days. Okay, so you can see that's a huge return. It's comparable. $100 for 300 days. That's even better than BitNex, 15,000 in 1 year. Imagine what that would give you after 2 years. You're now working with $15,000 in there. You probably take some of that. In fact, what I'd recommend is take some of the money out before that. This system actually allows you to withdraw whatever money you've deposited. So they keep the deposited money and the profit money. They keep it separate. They account for it differently. And so after 6 months, you can withdraw your deposited money and just allow the earnings to continue with your profit. And your profit you can withdraw as soon as it's available. I don't know what the minimum withdrawal is, but as soon as you've got the minimum withdrawal amount, you can withdraw that if you want to. So I was going to come on to something else. Now, the way I see this is that this may be a load of rubbish. We don't know because I haven't checked it yet. I don't know the company. I don't know the CEO. I'm really just going on information I've received from our upline. Okay. However, I think that if the way this is set up, we can actually take everybody who was in BitHarvest with us. We can help them because these initial stakings, $100, $200, and so on, that's just where we're starting. Once we've got that all set up and all the stars, all the different ranks are up and running, then we'll turn to all the other people. And I think we should be able to get everybody who was in our team in BitHarvest, we can get them started with something. And what I'm planning to do is, as I've made some money in this new platform, I'm going to take some of that profit and I'm going to get another person started. Get it, and then when I make some profit, I'll get another person started. Okay, so I'll be getting people started for no money in. It'll be no risk to them. If it does turn out to be rubbish, on day 359, the company says actually we can keep all the money. Okay, and I've got people in for nothing, then there's no loss for them. So that's how I'm looking at it. Of course, the people that are helping us, our upline, they're all excited, saying, this is what we've been looking for. This is kind of the redemption. But until I've looked into it, I can't make any promises like that. And as you know, there are no guarantees anyway. But I think what our upline are doing with this, giving people money to get started, that's a great thing to do. And it's a great thing that I think Wealth Warriors should aim to continue doing that, even after this initial flush of payments has gone, has happened. I think that's something we should try to maintain on into the future. That people can join us for free. We'll stake them for some money, basically just to mitigate their loss or minimize their losses if something were to go wrong. So that's where I am on the new platform. So I'm going to skip over the marketing and landing pages. If you're watching this by video, you can come back here and watch this. Marketing materials, again, I'm going to skip over this. You can see all this information from a video. Any of the recent videos I've done on a Wednesday and also on a Sunday. So any of the recent videos about Wealth Warriors, you can pick up this information. A quick reminder, we're building a solid foundation because it's our financial futures. We know nobody else is going to take any interest in our financial future except us. We're very fortunate to be working together as a team. I don't take that lightly at all. And but the rest of the world doesn't care about us. Okay, so we've got to do it ourselves. We only work with companies that are in it for the long term, if we possibly can. And of course, this new platform, we don't know that that's the case. We only work with companies that are above board, and again, the same caveat. The idea is that we build a large asset, which in turn will deliver us a large income, whatever that asset is. Only platforms that meet our rigorous criteria are even considered. In fact, I'm going to interrupt myself there a little bit because I've just had a thought that what we can do is build up a fund as Wealth Warriors, or possibly even just do individually. We can build up a fund so that that fund either pays people when they join to get up and running, or compensates them if something does happen and they were to lose some money. Then we have a fund put aside to make them whole. I don't know if we have a responsibility to do that. It just came into my head. So something we can think about and discuss either later or at a later stage. The point is that we apply our rules to this industry to achieve our outcomes. We're not interested in what anybody else wants us to do. We're only interested in what we want to do for ourselves. Finally, it's important to remain safe on the internet and in the world of online opportunities at all times. Do not share your password or other credentials with anyone. Where it's available, set up your 2FA on your accounts. And if you don't know what it is or how to do it, then Google it or read it in the FAQs or just, find out how. It's not that difficult to do it. But the reason I'm keen on that is because it's the only protection you have for preventing things being stolen from your account. If your account gets hacked and they don't have your you don't have your 2FA set up, then the account's been hacked and you could lose everything. If your account gets hacked but you still have your 2FA set up properly, then your account is still protected. So back up your passwords and your 2FA codes in a secure location. Keep it safe. Make sure the executors of your will, your living will, your power of attorney, or your beneficiaries have access to this information in the event of your incapacitation or death. And so there are the Wealth Warriors. They're little holiday homes we're going to have in the future, or in our flying cars. I don't know why all the flying cars are the same model, but they are. Yeah, so that's the presentation, and I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to come back to the room now. I'm going to come back to the room, going to wind down the video, and then I'll switch off the video and we will do a question and answer session. I'll unmute you all. Okay, guys, so thank you for being here. As ever, I really appreciate you being here with me, and it's always great to see you all as well. We'll do the similar sort of presentation. I noticed none of my presentations are the same. I say a standard presentation, but that's sort of tongue-in-cheek. So we'll do the same sort of information again next Wednesday, 10 p.m. UK time. I'll be back in the UK then, so looking forward to the rain. Yeah, and we'll do the standard presentation, the whys and wherefores of Wealth Warriors, why we do what we do, who we are. We'll do that on Sunday at 10 p.m, same time, same channel. So thanks, guys, for being here, and I'm going to switch off the recording now, and I'll see you on the next one. God bless.
I want to see you win. I want to see you absolutely smash every single dream you have. I want to see you overcome all of the barriers you face, and I want to see you succeed. I'm your biggest fan, your top supporter, and I'll be with you every single step of the way. You're destined for greatness, with or without me, and I want to see you achieve. Your potential is limitless, and your determination is inspiring. Keep striving for your goals, and I'll continue to cheer you on.